If you've been applying for jobs and hearing nothing back, even though you know you're capable, this video is for you. I want to say this clearly and honestly. Most Filipino professionals are not underqualified. They're just underselling themselves on their resumes. You see, we review hundreds of resumes for every opening at Work.ph, and these are for global remote positions. We match experienced Filipino talent with growing businesses here in the US. And I keep seeing the same mistakes. Since madami tayong time today, I made this video especially for you. Actually, I do have my coffee cup right here. Filipino vibe for today. All right, before I get started, I want to know where you're listening or watching this video from. If you're on your way home, if you're riding a jeepney, MRT, or trike, let me know in the comments below. Now, let's dive in. You see, these common mistakes, they may seem small. They feel pretty normal, but they quietly push your resume into the no pile. See, nowadays, recruiters and hiring companies use ATS or applicant tracking system. In most cases, when it comes to parsing the resumes, there may not even be anybody looking at your resume in the beginning. You have to present and craft your resume so that it could be captured in these systems and could be easily scanned. So I'm going to share with you 10 common mistakes that we've observed from applicants, especially from remote positions. Please take note of these things so that you can tailor your resume later. The goal is for you to be aware of these common mistakes and you can avoid them. Grab a pen and paper or keep note of these things in your notes, in your phone. I want to be able to help at least one more Filipino talent get invited for that next interview and land your dream job while working from home. Let's get started. First up, job objectives or career objectives. Right in the beginning of a resume. You see, this is probably the number one most common mistake I see all the time from Filipino applicants. Now, these may seem pretty normal to everybody, but that's the point. Everybody really has the same objective. Everybody wants to land the same job. Everybody wants to land a good, rewarding career opportunity. Everybody's looking for that next job to reach your highest potential or gain new skills. I get it. But the crazy thing is that we keep seeing the same similar career objective in resumes. It goes something like this: to be in a position that will use my knowledge and enhance my skills to become a competitive professional, contributing to the company's growth and success. Wow, okay, that sounds great. But let me just break it to you. This little career objective is not helping you at all. What can help you instead is using a professional summary. Now, what is a professional summary, you say? A professional summary can help you provide a more impactful overview right in the beginning. If you want to be able to grab the attention of a recruiter or the hiring company looking through your resume, go ahead and use a professional summary instead. Add a little overview at the top of your resume. That will be better. Think of it from a recruiter's perspective or the hiring company's perspective. Okay? What you're going to want to do is scan for answers for questions like this. Like, what role is this person targeting? Are they relevant to my job opening? Has this person created any results before? Can I see them fitting into our current team? You want to be able to answer all of this using your professional summary. Now, let's go ahead and try to use a simple framework. So grab your notes and take note of this. For you to craft a nice, impactful professional summary, it has to be clear, skimmable, but high impact. Think of your professional summary as your elevator pitch on a paper. All right. So it has to be pretty concise, straightforward, impactful. So let's get started with line 1. State who you are and what you do. Think of it as your role identity. Start with your current job or target position, not a vague title. Right? You can use the simple formula: your role plus years of experience plus your primary function or domain, the industry that you have experience in or have expertise in. For example, for an operations specialist, it could go something like this: an operations support specialist with 6+ years of experience supporting fast-growing e-commerce and global companies. Pretty straightforward, right? But it gives a little bit of an overview. Next line you can add is showcasing your core strengths. And this is how you create value. Highlight just 2 to 3 strengths that are directly relevant to the role that you are applying for. You can say something like strong in very specific skills, your expertise, or systems that you're really proficient in. Highlight some areas that will help you stand out, okay? For the next line, you can add results and proof of impact in your previous roles. And sometimes this is what most summaries actually miss. All right, so keep note of this. You want it to be impactful by showcasing some results and proof. Put in something like you're known for proven track record or measurable impact and outcomes that you were able to achieve. For instance, if it's related to some work efficiency or process improvement, you can write something that goes like proven track record of improving workflow efficiency, reducing turnaround times, and supporting leadership in high pressure environments. Now that sounds really good, doesn't it? To wrap it all up, this may be optional, but it can still be powerful for that professional summary. Include what you're looking to support for a new position. This kind of replaces that old career objective without sounding self centered. A formula to think of this one, something that goes like currently seeking to contribute to, say, what type of company you're looking to be a part of, or the dynamics of a team, or their mission, right? Something like currently seeking to support a remote first organization that values ownership, clarity, and operational excellence. This actually sounds really good. Now, that can give you a little bit more of an edge, right? Little mistakes to avoid in your summaries is using I or my or writing more than 45 lines. You want it to be pretty concise and straight to the point, but make it impactful. Diba? So think of it this way. If you're the recruiter or the first person that screens this resume and you've read this professional summary, won't you be hooked to proceed and be interested in reading more about the resume? Next one, listing long job responsibilities or tasks that you were assigned to. You see, when it comes to your professional history or work background, it's important that you share very impactful insight in this course section. You should consider this section as the meat of your resume. I've actually seen customer support specialists in their professional history where they said something like resolved tickets, answered phone calls, troubleshooted tickets. You see, the problem when you present your work history like this is that you're not able to present your impact and your contributions. You're simply saying the things that you've done in your job. I've seen an applicant actually put in something like updated shipping addresses for customers. I was like, sure, but like it can be presented better. A better way to do this is make sure that you highlight your impact, your contributions, and the results that you were able to achieve in your previous roles. Think of metrics that you were able to meet. If you've had KPIs in your previous roles, if you were able to hit them, highlight the numbers, the outcomes that you were able to deliver and executed on. Make sure that your job titles are very clear, nothing funky, nothing weird, and also add your tenure in the previous companies that you've been a part of. Right? So that is for your core section. Make it meaty. It is very important that you're able to highlight things that will make you stand out, okay? Make it impactful. Also, keep in mind to avoid buzzwords like responsible for doing this or that, perform this task or that, handle this or that, because it doesn't really showcase any of your impact. Choose really good active verbs to describe the results that you were able to achieve. So again, for your professional experience and work history, make sure that you're able to highlight your results, the impact that you were able to contribute in your previous roles. And if you are able to present why your role mattered, that'll be a big one. Next one, for your education section, it should be pretty concise and straight to the point. If you've attained a college degree, whether it's a bachelor's degree, your state or university and the degree that you were able to complete, or the school that you went to, if you've had really good apprenticeship or training in the past, or master's degree, if that's even applicable to you, go ahead and throw that in there. You can simply skip your elementary or high school information in your resume to save the space. Next up, another common thing that I've been seeing, but may seem typical, is including so many contact information. What I'm talking about are like your Viber app contact, WhatsApp, your Skype contact. You end up cluttering your resume with this information that will not be necessary. Be very straight to the point when it comes to your contact information. A good professional email address would be enough. Your phone number or direct line will also be helpful in case there's going to be a pre-call or an initial call before you get interviewed. Also, when it comes to socials, LinkedIn could be helpful if it's updated and if it matches your resume. If your LinkedIn profile is clean and updated, and if you have good information or posts, any recent projects that you've done or initiated, and if it is relevant to the role that you are applying for and you're sharing these things on LinkedIn, that could give you an edge as well. Please avoid listing so many apps that you've used in the past. When it comes to your resume, highlight anything that will support your application. You don't want to clutter it with information that will not be supportive of your application. I'm talking about listing software platforms or applications that you've used in your past jobs. Okay, this won't really help you. A better thing to do is listing hard skills that are relevant to the position. Say when it comes to sales, proficient in Salesforce system or using Salesforce automation in workflows. For project management tool, highlight your proficiency in these tools. Say if it's a similar platform that the company is using, that could be helpful. So take the hard skill that you're able to improve on or become an expert in and put that in your resume. What's important is for you to be able to showcase your expertise when it comes to using these applications that helps you become efficient in your job. Also, when it comes to skills that you include in your resume, please avoid speaking of skills on a generic term. I see a lot of applicants actually list soft skills that go something like, I'm a team player, reliable, I have good communication. But the funny thing is that it doesn't really prove anything when you list it this way, all right? You'll actually have a better chance showcasing these skills during the interview. So focus on the hard skills instead that will actually be relevant to the role. Say if you're a financial controller or financial analyst, listing your expertise in financial modeling, financial analysis, budgeting, and forecasting. And this is, oh my gosh, I've seen a lot of applicants actually include a skill set on being computer literate or English as their language. But I hate to break it to you, this is very basic. This is very elementary requirement nowadays, especially when you're applying for global remote positions so that you can work from home. In business, English should be the language that you're very comfortable in when it comes to communicating with global businesses and the workplace. Actually, in the Philippines, it's very big, right? We're taught English right from the beginning, right from day one, being in school. And it is a medium language for business. Be very comfortable with that when it comes to your communication, but you don't necessarily have to add it as a language in your resume unless you're well versed in other foreign languages that is relevant to the company. Say if you're very good when it comes to speaking Japanese or Spanish for any Central American companies, or if it's relevant for the job. But being computer literate or being able to speak in English or write in English, just take note, it's 2026, so being computer literate should be already a given, all right? Next one is character references. Now you may be saying, hey Trish, I'm being very proactive here. I'm trying to give all the character references that the company can contact, but sure, I get it. Don't get me wrong, all right? Yes, character references will be requested from you, but this is just way too early in the screening process. If you add it in your resume already, it's like getting dessert before you even have a meal, right? So just save it, park that information, okay? Yes, ensure that you have good references to provide later once it's requested by the hiring company, by the recruiters. But really, character references are not required till you get considered for the job offer or till you get advanced into the final screening stage, okay? Once that is requested from you, ensure that you have the correct information for your character references. Give them the latest email addresses or contact information. Also, give them a heads up so they'll be prepared to give you a glowing recommendation for that new job. In the meantime, save some space in your resume and include better information instead. Now, speaking of better information, a common mistake is adding certifications or trainings that are not relevant to the role that you're applying for. Keep in mind, if it's a training that was like from 19 Kapong Kapong and it's not even related to the role, please just avoid them, okay? Just exclude them. So it'll be helpful if you just simply review your list of trainings and certifications you've had before. If these are relevant to the job opening, keep them. If not, just exclude them. If it was like a compliance training, say fire safety or hazard training in the past, or ethics training that was required by your previous company, which may not be relevant to this new application, those may not actually help you, okay? But if you've had any recent trainings that help you excel or be more proficient in or be up to date in the industry that you're in, that will be better. For instance, for a digital marketing type role, paid ads certification from Google will be helpful, right? Say for bookkeepers and accountants out there, certifications from Intuit, like for QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop certification, are helpful, or even zero certification. And it really depends on the system that's being used by the company you're applying for, right? So think of it that way. Make sure that these trainings that you include in the resume will be relevant to the role. That's very important. Now, another tip here, I've actually seen some applicants include the podcast that they listen to, but really don't worry about adding in your favorite podcast in a resume, because who knows if you've actually applied what you've learned from these podcasts in your jobs, right? You can't really prove that in a resume. So in the meantime, park that in your toolbox for later. You can bring that up during the interview. You can share some learnings from these podcasts or your default resources from YouTube videos. And with that, you're actually going to be able to showcase your initiative and self-drive to continuously learn outside of your day-to-day job. That will give you an extra edge. Next up, this is mind-blowing to me. I see applicants include personal information in their resume. Just imagine this. If you send your application to hundreds of job openings in different companies, you end up sharing your personal information to these many companies. Please don't include personal information that should be treated as private and confidential. What I see is that lots of applicants add confidential information in their application. So what personal information should be treated as confidential? What am I talking about? These are your personal information such as your date of birth, your social security number. Some people even add their height and weight in the resume. And like, oh my gosh, please don't. Please save the space, exclude these things. If it's something that will be required by HR for onboarding, you can give it to them later. But by that point, you've already gone through the clearance, you've already accepted a job offer, you've already done a background check and probably have signed an NDA and contract signed with the company. And say, for height and weight, that's only typically required for your health insurance application, okay? Another thing is that I've seen applicants include their father's and mother's name in their occupations in the resume. Really, please save them the heartache. Don't include your mom's information in there, your father's name. Like, it's 2026, guys. They should not be included in your application. That can kind of give some off vibes to recruiters or hiring companies. So please keep this in mind. Also, when it comes to your address, keep in mind about your safety too, especially for work from home positions nowadays. If you are applying globally or for remote positions, just keep your city and your country in your resume. You don't have to provide the complete details of your address. You don't want random companies or international companies to see your exact location. That's really not needed unless you've already signed a contract or about to get paid, right? Or get set up for your onboarding for payroll. Be very mindful about these confidential information, okay? Now, this may be a little bit controversial. Headshots. I see a lot of applicants include super old headshots in their resumes, and often these photos don't even look like the applicants anymore. If you really want to add a headshot in your resume, just make sure that they are professional, that you have a nice neutral background, and that you are dressed appropriately. Think of it this way. We've seen the meme, right? Where there's the Facebook photo, Instagram, LinkedIn, Tinder. So you want a nice professional photo for your LinkedIn profile, and that's for business, for work. That should be appropriate. Think of it the same way with your resume. Do not add your vacation photos or your selfies. That should be in your Facebook feed. You'll probably have a little more of a trendy photo for an Instagram profile, but not for your resume. I've also seen headshots before that are not even professional looking, but almost like a picture for the dating apps, all right? So be very mindful of this. A good headshot would be professional looking. You may wear a blazer or a formal top. A photo that was taken pretty recently with a neutral pose and clean background. Also, veer away from too much AI or too much Photoshop, because really once you show up at the interview, they may go something like, I'm looking for this person in this resume, like it doesn't even look like you. Like, what happens? Or like, is this you? Like, I'm not sure. So just keep your headshot as natural as possible, but also veer away from any selfies. You don't want any selfies or you wearing your pajamas or having crazy filters, okay? So keep it professional, neutral, and appropriate. Now, last but not the least, this might be a little bit surprising to you, but I see a lot of Filipino applicants add this little statement at the bottom of the resumes. It kind of goes something like this. I hereby certify that the above information is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and beliefs. It was like, oh, what are you trying to certify again? What? You might be trying to showcase that you're actually being honest, sure, but that is what's expected when you craft a resume and send in your application. Okay, so just exclude this little statement. I don't even know where this came from, but truly, we expect you, the hiring company, the recruiters, for you to be very honest when you send in your application, when you craft your resume. So, sure, you want to make it sound really professional, curated, and tailored for the job, but really, your honesty when putting together your resume, that's what's expected. Sometimes there's even a signature included. Don't worry about signing anything until you sign a contract. So remove this line. That is not required. It's not going to help at all. In case you didn't know, studies show that recruiters only take like 6 to 8 seconds to actually screen and filter out resume. So showcase your best, present information that will help you stand out from the rest of the applicants, okay? So that your application won't get secretly thrown in the trash. To wrap it all up, make sure that your resume is tailored to the job that you are applying for, that you are highlighting impactful contributions, results, and outcomes that you were able to achieve in the past, and include relevant information that will help you give a good initial impression as you're applying for that new job. Now, I'd love to hear in the comments below, what are the things that you usually put in your resume that you just found out are hurting your chances for getting an interview? Write them in the comments below. Let me know. If you've gained a little something new from this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Share this with a friend that is currently job hunting, and let's all help at least one more Filipino talent to land their dream job while working from home. I'll see you in the next one.